Hi there, it's Aura Pampa here again, and this is day 8 of my 30-day video recording challenge. So today I wanted to speak about my PhD. So I'm 2 weeks in, and it's been an interesting process so far. It's the first time that I'm studying a degree remotely, which is it's an interesting process. I'll tell you a bit about it. But today anyway, I'm going to cover 4 things. 1, how the PhD is going. 2, what I'm learning at the moment. 3, finding a routine. And then 4, just how I'm feeling in general about it. So to start with, the PhD is going okay. Like I said, studying online is a different sort of vibe. First of all, we're having to interact with each other, mostly via the forum, so like an online forum, all written, which is interesting. It's good. It means you can interact with each other asynchronously. But then the downside with that is that sometimes there can be quite a large volume of text to read through, and that's just long sometimes for me. But anyway, it's nice that we at least have some interaction. One thing I am very grateful for in this whole process of doing the PhD is having a cohort to do it with, people who are studying broadly within the same research area or within the same subject. So we're all studying e-research and technology enhanced learning. So different people within the cohort are going to focus on different areas and going to use different research methods. But at least we have people who are broadly in the same area and we can bounce ideas off. So I'm really, really grateful for that. So we also have weekly lectures, which are very, very useful because then we go over the material that we've read previously, as well as interact with each other. So see each other's faces, interact with our lecturer, ask a few questions. So that's very, very useful, I think, for me in this period as well. What I am looking forward to, though, is being able to interact more with my peers. So speaking to them directly. I am in touch with one other student who's studying on the course as well. So I'm just kind of looking to build my network or build my relationships within the cohort. I think that'd be quite useful as well. Then, in terms of what I'm learning right now, we're learning about autoethnography. So it's a research method which involves storytelling and also looking at research from the point of view of the researcher, how the research influences or impacts them and how their field of study impacts them, but also reflecting on their practice, looking at how they situate themselves in the wider context of, maybe in the wider sociocultural context. It's an interesting research method. It's quite subjectivist and it can involve quite a bit of introspection, which I find quite interesting. Daunting at times, I have to admit. One thing I appreciate about this research method is that it doesn't shy away from emotions and it does not pretend like the researcher is completely removed from the research process. But actually, we realize that as a researcher, you are having an impact on the society you're researching, the culture you're researching, or even the environment you're researching just by the choices you make in terms of interpretation, in terms of your view of the world. So you have an impact there. So it's quite interesting. So I'm looking forward to learning more anyway. The next thing though, the actual practicalities of doing the PhD. So I'm doing this PhD not full-time, part-time, so I'm still working, and it can be challenging sometimes actually finding enough good chunks of time to sit down, focus, do the reading, and kind of get the best out of it. So that has been a bit challenging. What I've done is I've decided Fridays are going to be my PhD days, and how I've been able to achieve that is that I did speak to my employers and they agreed for me to have flexible working. So push most of my work onto Monday to Thursday so that I can spend Friday working on the PhD, which I'm very, very grateful for. But yeah, so that gives me a good chunk of time, a whole day to kind of focus on the PhD. So that helps quite a lot. Then also reading maybe in the evening sometimes, but I find I really need good chunks of time to be able to study. If you do have any questions, by the way, about doing a PhD or managing your time or just the whole process, do let me know in the comment section and then I'd be happy to try and answer them. But anyway, something that has helped me, actually a very useful tip in doing this PhD is something I'm going to share with you. Basically, I find that when I'm reading, I lose concentration quite a bit sometimes, and then I get distracted by other things and then have to bring myself back. Something that I find that has helped me is actually using text-to-speech tools. So basically being able to select some text and then get the computer to read it out to me. What that then does is that it kind of keeps me, even if my eyes may wander, I'm still hearing the content. And so it kind of keeps me focused. And sometimes I start my reading doing that by using text-to-speech to read out the text, provided that the text is actually available in text format and it's not just an image. And then so I can get the computer to read it out to me. And then sometimes I might stop the text-to-speech reading aloud and then just continue reading myself. But I find it's very, very useful, and it kind of keeps me engaged. So it's something you might want to try out. On Mac computers, there is the built-in tool for reading aloud. It can be found in the preferences tool. For Windows, I know there's a similar functionality, but I don't know too much about it. I know within Word, you can also select some text and get it read aloud, so that's quite useful. But there are other websites as well that you can go to that would be quite useful for reading aloud, so definitely try those out. And then finally, how am I feeling about the whole process? Excited, nervous, expectant. I think it's going to be a good process. I think it's also helping me as an individual be more efficient with my time. So making sure I'm managing my time properly, spending times on the things where I deliver value, and then either outsourcing or just not doing the things that aren't going to give me enough value. I think right now in life, I'm juggling quite a few balls, and just between working, mentoring, other responsibilities here and there, and then doing the PhD on top, it can feel like quite a lot of things. But I'm learning to manage my time better and decide what's important, because in all likelihood, it's quite likely that I won't be able to finish every single thing on my to-do list. But at least if I get the most important things done, I'll be happier for it and I'll feel more fulfilled. So that's what I'm going to do. But anyway, thank you for watching. This has been day 8 of my 30-day video recording challenge. See you in the next one. Oh, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much. Take care. It's Autoethnography here.